what happens that you go from an unmanageable life to laughing? When does that happen? Kieran.
When do you go from an unmanageable life to laughing?
Yeah.
I mean, I've said this a lot, and I really believe it, and I've lived it. Like, having fun is work. It's a job. Like, it's a responsibility. It's important, and so my earliest first, when I was new in Cornerstone, I had kind of the similar mindset to this question. Like, I can't wait for things to be like I see it with these other families that have been in recovery for a while, and their kid's a winner, and they're feeling good. And so the idea is like, I'll be happy when things are going well, when things are manageable. And actually, that's not how it works. It's the opposite. Like, when you start laughing, that's when things become manageable, because you learn how to laugh again. So first learn how to laugh, and then things will become manageable.
God, I didn't laugh for months. I think I just cried, like the whole.
Learn how to cry too. Learn how to cry. I've cried so much. You gotta learn how to cry.
I cried a lot. I think for me it was step 3. I've been called resistant. I'm still called resistant by certain people in Writers in Recovery, but
I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that is. But I was super resistant when I came in. I just wanted my kid fixed, and I would go to Climbers or all of the meetings, and it took me forever to get a sponsor. It took me forever to start the steps. But once I started the steps, once I truly started the steps and got to step 3, and I could let go, was when I started feeling like my life was going to be okay. And that was the moment that I started. I could come to the meetings and hug everyone and laugh and be part of the fun crowd at Climbers, and what I thought was like the fun crowd at Climbers. And a lot of people ask me why I do Writers in Recovery, because it's not easy. It's scary to ride the bike sometimes. It's scary to go down some of the hills, and I'm usually not in the front. I'm usually in the back. But it's so much fun. I don't know if you've never been to a ride, I'm just gonna put my plug in right now.
Good.
If you've never been to a ride, it is a lot of fun to be with the teenagers, to be with the other parents, to be with Kirk. We just came back from a trip to Arkansas, and I know that Alyssa can attest to even like the 6-hour ride listening to 70s disco music. It was just so much fun and so much laughter that even though like, she was sick, it was fun. I saw you like listening to the music, and then all the extra comments that went with it. But I mean, I'm part of Writers in Recovery because it's good for my health. It's good to be around winners and things like that. But it is just something that's so much fun that I look forward to on a weekly basis. And one of the things that I forgot about when I first joined Cornerstone, because I was on the crazy train and my life was just devastated, was to have fun. And the things that I thought were fun before Cornerstone were probably fun, but all the extra things that I gained from Cornerstone has just really made my life so full. And part of that is just laughter, because we forget how to laugh, and laughter on a daily basis is just such great medicine. So
The change started once I had hope. And nothing was funny pre-Cornerstone, because I thought I was gonna feel sucky forever, and I thought that I was going to die as a teenager, and I didn't know what to do, and I I didn't know what the solution was, and I couldn't see myself getting out of that hole. And the difference is today, like, I still go through sucky stuff, but like even in like some of the worst times I've had in sobriety, I'm like able to laugh and have fun because I know it's not gonna suck forever. I like recently actually like broke up with my boyfriend, and that was so hard to do, and then also like was able to like talk about it and like laugh that there's like a new Taylor Swift album out, and it's like I'm glad I'm going through a breakup with the Taylor Swift album out. And I know I'm taken care of, and it could be temporary and it could be not. Like had like I gone through something painful like as a newcomer or like in my addiction, I would have fallen apart. So hope is like a huge reason why I'm able to laugh and have fun.
When we first arrived at Cornerstone, similar to what Kieran had explained, there were families that were doing well, and they were smiling, and they actually spoke with one another and seemed to be at peace, and you know, and we knew what their story was like, so it seemed very similar to ours, and I wanted that. I want, so unfortunately, I couldn't just write a check to Joe. I wrote a lot of checks to Joe, but have you ever watched a stand-up comedian just by yourself, and then watched a stand-up comedian in a room with a bunch of friends? You laugh a lot when you're connected with people, and when you're by yourself, for me, I kind of chuckle, that's funny, but when Jody's in the room with me, it's hysterical. Making these connections, showing up and making connections, for me, even early on, when things were still pretty shitty, I found that I was able to laugh because I was showing up and making connections with people, and I always find opportunities to crack jokes. But I mean, at that point in my life, without connection, it was very difficult to really laugh. And once I started to show up and make connections, it just started to come. It just started to coming for me. That's all.
Cool. Yeah, I think there's excuse me, there's something to be said about like those that like give the most, get the most. So the more engaged I am, the more the meetings I'm coming to, climbers, the extracurricular stuff, the parent-teen functions, being a judge at scavenger hunts, hosting functions, sponsoring, like all of that stuff, then the more I'm exposing myself to the good stuff, to the fun, to the laughter, to the enthusiasm, because there's so much of it to be had. And there's also something to be said about like that we got to embrace the suck. It's the only way through it. Embracing the suck is all about leaning in and understanding that this is going to be painful for a period of time, but the pain is unavoidable in order to get better or in order to progress. The thing about pain is that it's usually messy and pretty much always painful. And this is no different. But there is a great deal of fun and levity and joking and laughter about it all. Laughter is the language of recovery.